Watch me as
I think in the same way that there were songs in the process that, like when Frank talks about how there was a real honing process to Crater, I think there was a similar thing with Contemplation, albeit you are a far more established songwriter, especially within our ranks. But it was kind of all these different ideas that Frank had that were all awesome. Like he'd be like, here's this riff, here's this kind of climactic part, here's this really eerie kind of string build up, and Jamie and I were really kind of like, this is really, really cool stuff. And like we really want this on the album in some kind of capacity. And it was just kind of this tricky thing where it was kind of a counterintuitive thing, I think, for Frank to bring these really diverse elements that did some very challenging things harmonically and dynamically together in a cohesive package. Because this is really, as far as stuff that Frank has done, this is on like a new level of ambition. It's like if Mob Mentality is like an opus on one end of the album, this is kind of like its climactic ending counterweight. And I think with the real strings that Frank got together on the song, actually including Frank's sister, who's an excellent violinist, and also Eric Zerlinger of Face the King, it became this incredibly moving. It may be one of the most emotionally just going for the jugular songs on the record that just like even when I hear it now, having heard it hundreds of times, it still kind of gives me these goosebumps and makes me really really contemplate the beautiful.
This song in every way is the closer. I mean, just nothing can follow it. It's so, I mean, as Ben alluded to, it's just so big in scope, and but also the dramatic moments when things, the major structural downbeats when things just hit. There are these explosions, there's these catharses in it, and there's just so much just release of emotion, and Eric especially, and I think part of what made us all finally realize, wow, like just the wow factor of the song when you had Eric performing what Frank had always envisioned, just this utter visceral cry in this scream, and it's just so powerful and so intense. And I mean, I think there's a lot of ways that this is like the goosebumps rendering song on the record, and I think with the way it came out, and just also hearing it with real instruments now, with the real drums rather than in the demo, there's just so, and the real guitars with the, do we need to talk about our pitch shifting trick, or?
I mean, I'll talk about my...
Yeah, but just with these low, extremely detuned guitars and the powerful vocals, I just think this song makes such a statement, and it's the closing statement, and it's the one that we will leave you with, and we will leave you with pretty much with no hope for tomorrow.
Yeah, I screwed you, Frank.
Did Jamie fuck up on the camera?
Yeah, but now it won't.
Wow.
What's the problem? Like that?
The microphone was on. The problem is it wasn't plugged in.
Excellent take.
And he got a great take there.
Yeah, well, that's good for us. It's not good for the video, but it's good for the song.
Give us one more anyway, just for fun.
For the video. Yeah. Yeah, that works too.
And I knew that I was not for you.
Yeah,
Holy shit, that was awesome.
That was great.
I guess the way I write songs is like I like to take a very specific element or emotion or something and write everything around that and make everything as purposeful as possible to that singular thing. And that's kind of how I built this song around how kind of like beauty is kind of sadness to me, and how unfair it is and how unfair kind of life is, like using beauty as an example for that. Our genetics are our genetics, and yeah, you can see like, you know, beauty on the inside, whatever, but I think as people, even if we try to see it that way, no matter how hard we do, we're still going to perceive an outward appearance, and it's just that guiding light towards like what's fair in life. And a lot of what I experienced as a younger person, that extreme anxiety from that, and the song is just complete soul-crushing philosophy, and it's a personification of that into musical form and how powerful that is, and its overwhelmingness. And just kind of to move on, the construction of the production was something I had intended. Like I said, I try to make every detail specific to what I want in the song, and this Weight of the World, I tracked everything faster than the tempo, put it to tape, slowed the tape down, re-edited it to the track, and creating this slow pulling down effect in the sonic kind of spectrum. And I think that's what really gives the song its character, is that everything production and composition wise just alludes to this pulling down, and that's what I kind of like had to envision, and how to produce it in that way with collaboration with David, how we were going to make it the power that it, to get the power it needed to be as a song. And Eric Zerlinger's vocal performance was second to none. He hit the emotion right on the head. He was just screaming in the studio and passing out and
blacking out.
And
from it.
he it's like he went into my heart and he sang it. And props to Eric, and he did a great job, and very proud of it.